So I worked as a personal assistant for 2.5 years, and I never really talked about it because client confidentiality and all that jazz. Did send my friends some photos of the weird stuff I ran into because that's what you do with your loved ones. You share gross stuff. But now I don't work for any of those people anymore, so I can talk about all the gross habits and weird things that humans do that I don't understand. Met all these people through Care.com, which is a great website. Got a lot of clients off there that were perfectly normal. One of the last people I talked to, though, asked me if I scrubbed floors on my hands and knees. And when I said no, because I have torn patella, I'm not going to do that, he said, what about for lots of money? And I thought about it because I like lots of money, but then I realized he might murder me and I might end up in like a mine shaft or something weird. This is Missouri. People do a lot of meth, so that's not cool. So I didn't meet up with that guy. But my first client was a doctor. We did meet at his house, which I was real weary of, but I took some mace, and we talked outside for a little bit, and when I realized he was like old and frail and I could take him, we went in and, looked over his house, figured out what needed to be done. He'd just moved here from like the Bahamas. He was a professor down at some tropical university. Sounds awesome. Don't know why he moved here. But he had like no furniture, and what he did have, it was just kind of a mess. Like there was no organization. That's kind of what I did pretty much besides being a nanny, is I would go in and be someone's paid wife, just, get their life together, make sure that they were paying their bills on time and not being gross, because people are gross. I don't know what's wrong with all of you, but you're disgusting. Maybe some of you are obsessively clean like me, but not most of you, and it's sad. But the doctor, I would do shopping, and a lot of that consisted of going to Sam's Club and buying obnoxious amounts of coconut oil and enema supplies, which was my least favorite thing in the world because I don't do enemas. I get it, if you have to do enemas, that's fine. I don't want to buy your enema supplies, though. But I got paid a lot of money at that job, too, so, again, I like money. I bought enema stuff. But then I would have to, like, clean up after the enema, which is also gross. Keep your toilets clean, America. There's nothing more disgusting, especially if you're going to get drunk at someone's house, then have to throw up later, than seeing, like, skid marks in a toilet. Ew. Just, get a little toilet cleaner and a brush. It takes 30 seconds. Just do that. But yeah, woo, enemas. And the man ate a lot of salsa in the bathtub. He would leave the bowls of salsa in the bathtub. It's like evidence that he's a weirdo. And what I don't get about that is, like, don't your corn chips get wet? Who wants to eat a soggy corn chip? Gross. But, he also did lots of weird things with coconut oil, so who am I to judge him? That's why people pay you lots of money to do weird stuff. It's a thing. Dry cleaning. I'd go get the dry cleaning and bring it in and hyper-organize it in the closet, because that's what I do. If your sleeve lengths aren't all organized, I don't want to know you. Or maybe I do and I want you to pay me to organize your closet, because sleeve length, it's a big thing. The clothes, he would walk in and they would, like, explode off of him, Hulk style. Like, there would be buttons missing. It was like he couldn't wait to get naked and get into that coconut oil, which was everywhere. I would find it on countertops and faucets, and the actual reason I quit after like a year and a half was I like to wear flip-flops. It's Missouri, it's hot, and I clean my own house in flip-flops. I've never had a problem. But I had the slip and fall 3 times, and the third time with coconut oil, that was last straw, because that shit is hard to clean up off laminate floors. So it was like usually super unexpected. I would mop and think the floor was clean, and coconut oil, you have to use like vinegar, bleach, and Agent Orange and mix them all together, and then use a paper towel to clean it up off of the floor. That's how serious this stuff is. But the refrigerator. Woo! Okay, so I wouldn't think to clean it very often because it was just, there wasn't enough time to do things in the day. Once a month though, since I did do his cooking, I would realize how gross it was getting, and I was cleaning the shelves and the bins, and I stabbed myself with a needle. And it was like 1 of 7. He was shooting up, I don't know what, it was in vials. He did take a lot of weird vitamins, herbs, supplement stuff, like a lot, like Amazon Prime member, giant boxes, like a monthly shipment. So I assumed it was something holistic. Sorry if you can hear my kitten meowing, she is kind of an asshole. But I never asked, I just went and got tested and made sure that I didn't have anything weird. Because Lord knows if you're taking that many vitamins, like something's wrong with you. I know I take a lot of vitamins and there's plenty of things wrong with me. So, yeah, not anything weird, gross, except my vodka Friday habit. Straight vodka, it's delicious. Besides the fridge and the coconut oil and all that weirdness, the furniture situation never really got rectified because there just wasn't enough hours in the day again to get everything done. So he had like a mat in the living room that he slept on, and then this weird like thermal cocoon, I don't remember what it was called, it cost like ridiculous amounts of money, and I'm not sure what it did. I think it was like some sort of witchcraft that turned back the years, like stopped time, and death like wouldn't swoop in if you got in this cocoon every night. I think that's about it for the doctor. When I started kind of pittering out with that job, I went to work for a couple, and it sounded great. They were like, do you want to travel? I was like, yeah, I like traveling. They were like, do you want to make a whole bunch of money? I was like, yeah, I still like making a whole bunch of money. They're like, all you really have to do is, you know, do our shopping and watch our kid and, you know, play My Little Ponies with her, which, whatever, for a lot of money, I don't care, man. My Little Ponies is fine. And the kid was nice. I met the kid, and usually I hate children. That's because usually people are assholes and they don't raise their kids right. But she was actually normal. I liked her. So, started off doing that job, and it was great. I mean, it really was kind of a perfect job situation. I did their shopping and their cooking, which I love to cook, so that was great. Occasionally watched the kiddo. She was fun, read stories to her, played games. There was a whole bunch of My Little Pony watching with the movies. That's a little annoying, but you can actually, if you're stuck in that situation, do a lot of online shopping. If you're good at like multitasking, you know, being like, yeah, Rainbow Dash, I really like that character in this movie, Child. And you're actually typing and ordering like workout clothes while talking to the kid. If you can do that, you're set. But what got me with that couple, finally, sorry, I don't have an alcohol problem, it's just, I do like vodka. Cock rings. I kept, when I was cleaning, finding cock rings and like lube, and these were like a very like strict Christian couple. Like, you would not expect this weird shit. And honestly, that's not even weird. I've seen so many worse things. But, like, under the bed. Like, he'd just, like, rip it off and throw it under the bed. And had, like, the kid and the dog, like a tiny dog, and 2 cats. And I have cats and dogs. And they get into fucking everything. So my thought process is, like, why would you throw that under the bed when one of the cats could, like, pull that thing out, and then all of a sudden kiddo's like, hey, what's this? And she's touching daddy's cock ring. Ew. Ew. And I don't want to touch it either. And the first time this happened, it was barehanded. I didn't have gloves on because I did, like, light cleaning, and I just happened to, like, get under the bed that day and, like, try and clean that shit up. Disgusting. It's actually kind of turning my stomach. I mean, that could be the vodka. Probably not, though, because it's, like, my Friday thing. So from then on, it's the same as the doctor. Like, I always wore gloves at these jobs. And And the doctor wasn't a hoarder. Obviously, he didn't like have a lot of things. What he did have, it was just like an explosion of stuff. But these people, it was like an explosion of stuff. But they also was like a kind of a hoarding situation. And they were like, oh yeah, you know, we've moved a few times and still things in boxes. And it's kind of bad, but you can clean it up. It's really not that bad. Okay, well, when I think not that bad, I think of the fact that I can barely fit my Prius in my garage because there's like 2 lawnmowers and a Vespa and some cardboard boxes in there. It's not that bad. I mean, it sucks, but their garage, I mean, floor-to-ceiling boxes, and it was all the way from the door to the garage door. Like, there wasn't even a path that you could get through. So I started like carving a path through all this stuff, and along the way would find like dog turds in boxes, old baby diapers, mail from like 10 years ago. And that was a thing. Like, they never opened their mail, and they were like so severely in debt because they just didn't open the fucking mail. Like, I open mine twice a month. I'm not real great at it just because I don't necessarily like paying bills. Who likes that? But I would have to start like putting the ones that had the red marks on them in a pile and say, look, this is going to collections. Maybe you should like pay it. It's an idea. And then they started going to collections, and I was like, I need to start looking for a new job. So that's when I started becoming a full-time nanny. And I will save those fun stories for another time.